Hello, I'm Dr. Tracy Diner, co-owner of Magnetude Jewelry, along with my partner Candice Loren. We have created a beautiful new line of interchangeable fashion jewelry that's actually healthy for you. All of our pieces, first off, they interchange. They can come out, they can snap back in. You can change the look and make thousands of combinations and match all of your outfits. On the back side of all of our pieces are the frequencies of infrared, negative ion, and germanium. And our magnets themselves are very, very strong neodymium magnets. What these magnets do is they increase our cellular voltage. So electromagnetic fields are around us and they pull at our energy. And when you put a magnet in our energy field that's strong like this, that's a biomagnet, it increases your electrical energy. So it's replacing the energy that the EMFs are taking away at a cellular level for our mitochondria, our calcium channels. They're all being affected. So we have created this beautiful line so that you will wear it all the time. We have necklaces just like this. Put a square peg in a round hole. We can take this out. We can put something else in. It's that fast. Beautiful bracelets. Okay, we just came out with a beautiful new slider line. All of these charms have the very strong magnets on the back side. Okay, and they slide, and you can add whatever charms that you would like. We have them for children as well, and adults. This is the adult line, but we have little charms for children because children are affected by electrical magnetic fields and absorb 10 times as much as we do as adults. We just came out with our Sports Edition. This is MagnaSport. Double the infrared for increasing blood flow and recovering quicker from exercise. Infrared, negative ion, and germanium still on the back side. Very sleek. This is our new, takes a mini mega. Again, these come off and you can match anything that you would like, made out of a beautiful silicone. So we have all of these thousands of combinations, necklaces, earrings, all of this to protect and help you overcome the electrical magnetic fields that you are bombarded with. Put something on, it's affordable. Everybody can have something, wear it, and stay safe. Take care. Go check out our website. Let's take a look at some of the research and the science behind Magnetude Jewelry. On our website, when you go to the Wellness Research tab, right here, and you see these blocks, all of the research I'm showing you is in here. Some of it's in the EMF mitochondria calcium channels in cancer. Some of it's in justifying the neodymium magnets with back pain, with hip pain. They're all in here, and it'll be continued to be added on. But I want to share with you, this is where I'm pulling the research here. So we're just going to go through a couple. So we'll start off. We're going to start off real easy, and we're going to talk about, this is our randomized controlled trial of magnetic bracelets for relieving pain in osteoarthritis and hip and knee pain. So lots of words, but basically this was a study that showed magnetic bracelets that were worn on the wrist relieving hip and knee pain. Okay, that seems a little odd, but yes, because it's when it's on your energy field, it affects your entire body. So here there was a randomized, and everything I'm showing you, all of this research is generally university studies, not just from the United States, from around the world. And this was British Medical Journal. Okay, so all of this is, again, very worthy university studies. Okay, so here they took 194 men and women from 45 to 80 years old. And I'm not going to read through everything, but just going to give you some highlights. Basically, the conclusion was that after wearing these bracelets with magnets, neodymium magnets, the pain from the arthritis in the hips, knee, and decreased when wearing the magnetic bracelets. So I'm going to go through, and I have highlighted this information in all of the research, and all of that, it's all highlighted for you, so that if you want to just quickly go where the things are yellow, it's where are the things that I felt were the most important about what it was saying, although you're welcome to read it all. And I just want to share with you that the magnets that they were using were, it says 170 to 200, and basically that's 1,700 to 2,000 Gauss. So the point is that there's much less strong magnets than the ones that we use that had such a profound effect on people with hip and knee pain when they wore their bracelets. Okay, that is what I wanted to share with you in this particular, here's the discussion. We found evidence of a beneficial effect of magnetic wrist bracelets on the pain of osteoarthritis of the hip and knee. The findings are consistent with previous studies on magnetic therapies and pain. Studies that have failed to show an effect on pain generally used, we'll go back up to it, weaker magnets, okay, 50 millitesla, that's like a 500, Gauss, it's nothing, right? So studies that have shown an effect using stronger magnets, that's 1800 Gauss, were comparable with standard strength magnets. Together, these findings suggest that field strength is important. As I've been saying, people ask, does the strength matter? Yes, the strength matters. And should you wear more? Yes, you should wear more. And hip pain and knee pain under magnets, that was there. Here's a quick one too with magnetic mattresses. I know there was a company that used to have magnets on their mattresses. And here was something with magnets and sleep with fibromyalgia patients. Here's a randomized double-blind pilot study. The objective was to determine if chronic pain and sleep disturbances experienced by patients with fibromyalgia can be improved by using magnetic mattress pads. Now, so this was the study, and they took 50 Gauss, 1100 plus or minus 50 Gauss. So it was 1100 Gauss, which delivered only 200 to 600 Gauss to the skin surface. Okay, that's not a lot. Okay, so 600 Gauss. And from that very weak magnet, that 600 Gauss, the outcome was that the well-being, pain, sleep, fatigue, and tiredness on awakening were all, results were better when they were on the mattress pad than when they were not. There was a significant decrease in pain. Okay, here's significant decrease in pain, significant improvement in reported sleep. Subjects sleeping on the sham mattress pad experienced no significant change in the pain or their sleep patterns. So here again, it says delivering 200 to 600 Gauss at the skin surface provides statistically significant, clinically relevant pain relief and sleep improvement in subjects with fibromyalgia. Again, 200 to 600 Gauss. Okay, so imagine why we have people who are feeling so great and sleeping better with our 4000 Gauss magnets. Okay, so that's another one that's under sleep in our back office. Okay, here's a low back pain. Okay, here again, Journal of Pain and Symptom Management. Here's, again, I'm showing you some of these, because the studies originally, this is 200 Gauss magnet compared to a 50 Gauss magnet on a double-blind study for chronic low back radicular pain. Okay, a very, very weak magnet. And even with a very weak magnet, there was very statistical difference with the 200 Gauss magnet and the 50 Gauss sham magnet on magnets from 5 to 5,000 Gauss. World Health Organization recommending safe exposure ranges. The effects of magnets have been studied in patients with chronic neck and shoulder pain, osteoarthritis of the knee, plantar fasciitis, post-polio pain, fibromyalgia pain, chronic low back pain, and painful diabetic neuropathy. Okay, so the magnets are being used for all of those things. The goals of this study were to assess whether permanent magnets of 200 Gauss surface field strength, which is on their alleviated sciatic pain compared to 50 Gauss magnets. Here's the results or discussion. The difference of those magnets corresponds to an 18% pain reduction produced by the 200 Gauss magnet compared to the 50 Gauss. So 18%, so almost 1 in 5 with a 200 Gauss magnet had pain reduction. Okay, that's huge with that, how weak a magnet that is. Okay, at the conclusion of the study, they gave the patients the choice if they would like to have a patient have a belt, a magnetic belt. And at the conclusion of the study, 96% of the patients requested the belt to be made for them for long-term use. So that's the discussion on the radicular pain. Radicular pain means pain down the leg. That's a sciatic pain. Magnetic therapy for edema and inflammation. That's where this one comes from the centers of VA Medical Center of Houston, Baylor College of Medicine, Anderson Cancer Society of Texas. So they usually, universities all work together to do research together because it's very expensive to do this research. So, okay, here's one with magnetic healing appears to date back to ancient Greece. Presently, magnetic therapy is a popular healing technique estimated to result in $300 million in annual sales in the United States and $5 billion worldwide, which is what the other one had said. In general, magnets can be divided into electromagnets, permanent magnets, which is what ours is, and temporary magnets. Each case, the magnetic field is the consequence of moving electrical charges. Our magnet is a static magnet. That's what it is called. So just so you know, and it says right here, The most common type of magnetic therapy used for healing involves permanent magnets generating static magnetic fields, SMF. You will see that in all the research, SMF, static magnetic fields. So they put out a constant magnetic field. They don't fluctuate like your electricity has alternating current or DC powers off, polarity changes. These are static magnets and the polarity does not change. So it says there are a broad variety of devices for SMF therapy, standard static magnetic therapy available, including bracelets, which is what we have, straps, which we will be having, insoles, pillows, mattresses. Okay, so all of that, and it's actually referring to 18% of outpatients in rheumatoid clinics used magnets or copper bracelets, which copper bracelets don't do the same thing. Copper is a conductor. It doesn't bring up the electrical energy in a cell. Okay, so this another one. Static magnet fields may interact with a variety of potential targets in living tissue and may induce physiological effects on many biological systems, including microcirculation. Okay, so now we start to get a little deeper. This is important. Okay, our magnets affect physiologically our body. And one of the things that they affect is microcirculation. So that is your blood vessels, the tiny little blood vessels that you need to heal, because healing comes with blood flow, right? It's getting blood in to heal and getting old stagnant blood out as well, so that your body gets rid of it for edema and those things. Okay, here's some interesting things here. The strength of the Earth's, the magnetic field is about a 50 micro Tesla, about 500 Gauss, our Earth. Okay, things here. Guidelines from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration considers MRI devices operational up to 8 Tesla as non-significant risk, meaning there is no negative side effects. I get asked this once in a while, are there any side effects from our neodymium magnets? And the World Health Organization basically said up to 20,000 Gauss, there are no, they tested it out, there's no side effects. Well, this one actually says 8T, that's 80,000 Gauss, and there's no significant risk. Okay, so I just want to assure you that there is no negative side effects when I'm telling you to put on more. The static magnet field therapy reduced the histamine-induced edema by 20 to 50%. So this means if your body's reacting to something that's inflammatory and it creates edema, the static magnets reduce that edema by 20 to 50%. Okay, so that's huge. And with no side effects. There's a lot of research. This one in particular comes upon the calcium channels, and there's a lot more that the same thing, that the electromagnetic fields are negatively affecting calcium channels. Magnets are helping the calcium channels work the way they should, which is why we have reduced inflammation in our body when we wear our magnets, okay? It also changes in vascular tone is a potential explanation for the physiological effects of the magnets on edema. That magnets have not only the ability to vasodilate, they also vasoconstrict. It does what the body needs. So if the body needs to have a vasoconstriction because there's too much inflammation, it does it. If it doesn't, it's not getting enough flow, it has a vasodilation effect, which blew the scientists' mind in one of the research. Here's another static magnet field action on some markers of inflammation. Again, there's a lot of studies. Complex approach into the investigation of possible effects of static magnet fields, that's what ours are, on experimentally induced acute inflammation. So they took these rats, poor little guys, and they inflamed their legs on purpose. And they basically then took the magnets and put the magnets on them to see if the inflammation changed. And basically it did. And I'm going to say the effects of the static magnets have been studied in different levels of structural organization of biological systems, from subcellular to organism, including clinical applications. So they're basically saying they've been studying static magnets on the biological systems down at the cellular level and as well as the entire body. Okay, so we've been talking about cellular level a little bit, but now we're going to talk about the entire body. When we're talking about inflammation, you're talking about a whole body. But it does get down to the cellular level of why, but but we can, and I don't expect you to tell this to your people, but I want you to understand what this does so that when you tell your customers, it helps. We can't say it automatically does, but it can help with inflammation. It can help you with sleep. It can help you with increased vitality. It can help with your cell energy levels, that you feel comfortable knowing that you have the research behind you, because it does. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you. So there are no reports of long-term or chronic adverse effects following prolonged static magnet field exposure. Again, different study saying the same thing. And I do a lot of research, and we have a lot of people coming to the same conclusions. Static magnets don't have any negative side effects, and the effects that they do have are in decreasing inflammation and increasing energy on a cellular level, on the calcium channels, and on the cell membranes. Okay, so here's again, they're saying there's no adverse effects. Okay, there are a number of papers which show that static magnets have an impact on dynamic, physiological, and biophysical processes, meaning that's the whole body. So meaning not only on a cellular level, but on a dynamic level of the entire being, these magnets have a huge effect. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so here the complexity of the living system and their dynamic regulation plays a crucial role in the occurrence of biological effects of static magnets. So we didn't want to get to that. But just at the end, here's the conclusion. Exposure to static magnets at a 25, which is very small, millitesla, that's 250 Gauss, resulted in decreasing, so 250 Gauss resulted in decreasing the severity of inflammatory process, okay, and showed a cumulative action in some investigative parameters. So it means over time, cumulatively, you're going to continue to have a decreased inflammatory process by wearing this jewelry. Okay, that's what that means. So oxidative stress, we haven't talked about that yet. That is very, very important. With most diseases create oxidative stress. That's not good for most of our inflammatory processes, have the oxidative stress. I'll share in a minute. So static magnetic fields decrease the fibrinogen concentration in blood plasma in parallel with edema. So here again, what that means is it decreased the blood clumping together. The magnets decrease the blood clumping. as simple as I can put it, but a very, very, very important thing. Okay, so I'm going to share one more with you. Now this is the meat of this is the meat. Okay, this one is has the most information that I love, but it is also a little more difficult to grasp because it's really very scientific in how they describe it. Okay, so the electromagnetic effects from cell biology to medicine. Okay, in this review, it says we compile and discuss the published plethora of cell biological effects which are ascribed to electrical fields, magnetic fields, and electromagnetic fields. So they're basically, they're studying the electric fields, the magnetic fields, the electromagnetic field combinations, which is perfect because that's what we want to know. Okay, so, and they concentrated on the cell biological findings. So for basic principles in the EF, MF, and EMF actions on the cell biology. So again, this isn't looking at the whole body. It's going down to the cellular level, which is a little more difficult. You have to pay more, you have to concentrate more to understand it. I'll try and simplify it for those of you who are not doctors. But the thing is, it's talking about cells. We talked about whole body, how it decreases inflammation in the body, how it helps with sleep. That's to the whole body. This is going to be on a cellular level, which this explains why you're having the effects to the whole body. Okay, so it says here we focus on how cells are influenced by electrical fields, magnetic fields, and alternating electrical magnetic fields. The term EMF is also used to summarize the whole field of electric, magnetic, and combined electrical magnetic field. Okay, so that's their definition. And they like to use lots of words when they could make it simpler, but they don't. Nothing in a living organism is static. Okay, this is important, as most of you know. Okay, on a cellular level, we are all moving. Everything, when you break us down on a cellular level, is positive, negative, moving. Living organisms are not static because movements of cells and tissues and organs are all over our body, ever present. Okay, so thus it says in living tissue, we mostly find alternating fields as well as combination of electrofields and magnetic fields in our own living tissue. Okay, that's important to understand as well. This point is addressed in the last chapter, which is really good information here, okay? So EMF frequencies in the body are normally in the range of extremely low frequencies. These EMFs, these electromagnetic fields, include action potentials and nerves and heart tissue and skeletal muscle vibrations and frequencies elicited by rhythmic activities within our own body. So you've heard me say our heart's electric, our brain's electric, our muscle is everything, our calcium channels, everything when you break us down is electric and magnetic. Okay, and this research goes into the magnetic portion, which a lot of them don't. Okay, so that's basically what it's saying here. EMF act on the cell at a molecular biological level. This is largely due to the numerous, it says, frequency windows for the biological action. Because our cells are moving. They're positive, they're negative, and they have muscles, they have action potential. So that's kind of what it's saying. Our cells are moving and dynamic, and EMFs are affecting that. Well, okay, so other importantly revealed that changes in voltage gradients often correlate with morphogenic events during growth and patterning of both plants and animals. Okay, again, voltage gradients. And this is important because electromagnetic fields, they pull in our energy and they decrease our voltage. Our magnets increase our voltage. Okay, so this is what this is starting to talk about. And when I read this, I'm like, woohoo, I hit the lottery for me explaining and people understanding. Okay, these currents were not just physiological signs of standard metabolism or classical membrane potentials, but specific and instructive signals for key processes during a range of events from embryonic development to adult wound healing. So what this is saying is that physiologically, electrical magnetic fields are affecting not only the cell membrane potentials, and that's what makes a cell move, but the key processes during a whole bunch of things, from embryonic development, as you're developing in the uterus, okay, which is why it's so important that pregnant women don't get exposed to EMFs, because the embryos are being affected, okay, to adult wound healing. So it is affecting every aspect of our body, basically electrical magnetic fields. And that's how they start this study, okay? I'm gonna move down here to, it says, a current survey of the literature reveals many recent advances in our understanding of electromagnetic fields, especially the DC electrical fields. That's the positive, negative. So today we're experiencing a revolution because many cell biological findings are now explainable by dynamics of calcium channels and related ion pumps and voltage sensors at the molecular level. So again, what I'm saying about our magnets affecting calcium channels at a molecular level and voltage, here it is, okay? So again, the electric fields produced by ion channels on calcium and potassium channels provide specific signals that regulate cell behavior during embryonic development, normal tissue turnover, and regenerative repair. Okay, I've talked about your cells having, we need to keep our voltage up because you want to repair, regenerate, because that's what cells do. Electromagnetic fields, here they are affecting that, okay? And cell membrane acting, okay, here's an interesting, the cell membrane acting as a Faraday cage serves as a very good shield against electrical fields. Now, I had to read that again. I'm like, what? So Faraday cage, you've probably heard if you watch any sci-fi movies like I do, but Faraday cages are basically, some people probably sleep in them. It's something that blocks all electrical magnetic fields. Electromagnetic fields can't get into a Faraday cage. They even have them for smart meters. You can buy a Faraday cage for your smart meter to put over it so it doesn't ping to your house. Some people that are crazy, like really sensitive could sleep in a Faraday cage, but most people don't, okay? So, but the cell membrane was acting like it because the cell membrane can hold back electrical charges to some degree. However, the magnetic component, which it says right there, the magnetic component of the electrical magnetic fields can also induce electrical fields within the cells themselves. So the cell membrane, which is protecting the cells to some degree from electrical magnetic fields, does not protect it from the magnetic component that might be being pulled away by the electrical magnetic fields, which also means in the reverse, our magnets can actually get into the cells to help them, okay? Because magnetic fields have a vibration that goes through to the cell where electrical is not by vibration. It's different, they're a different mechanism, okay? So I thought that was hugely important to share with you about our jewelry. So we first must define the physical phenomenon of electricity, magnetism, and electromagnetics, which can influence cells, tissues, organisms, in order to introduce the biologist or physician to this topic. This is an interesting thing. What the latest research is finding is that our cells have a component, a magnetic component, that we're not really understanding yet. How do our 60 trillion cells speak to each other quickly? There is a magnetic component that's doing that, that our bodies have, that we innately have, that is being helped, which is why we have such positive effects when we wear a biomagnet. And so that is what this is saying. There's something far-reaching that's on a cellular, that's conveying on a cellular level, and that is the magnets. And there are other studies I have that have said the same thing as well. Now this I learned today. I wasn't aware of this as I reread this. Small molecules such as serotonin, okay, we talk about serotonin, we talk about negative ions increasing serotonin in our body, okay? So one of the things that we have, the negative ions on all of our pieces, increases serotonin. Well, here, small molecules such as serotonin can be driven through the gap channels of the cell membrane, okay? So that we get serotonin into our cells. They enable intercellular bidirectional transport of metabolites, ions, messengers. So basically what it's saying is serotonin, it takes information and travels from molecule to molecule, from cell to cell, because it's really, really small. Okay, now our jewelry helps to increase serotonin, which is a good thing. Okay, so then now we have more communication between cells that may not have been there. Serotonin accumulation produces a chemical gradient that can drive further signaling cascades to transduce and enhance primary electrical signals meant to cause biological relevant reactions. What that's meaning is it's saying is serotonin accumulates in our system, and when it's being driven into the cell, it helps with this cascade of processes that is supposed to take place inside the cell. Water is affected by electrical magnetic fields, and guess what our body's made out of? 75% water. Okay, so water is affected by electrical magnetic fields. If we're 75% water, again, we're being affected by the electrical magnetic field. Oh, here's another one. Cells are capable of sensing electrical magnetic fields. Cells at the cellular level are capable of sensing electrical fields. Okay, now here, because all molecules in the body are in steady motion, not only static, all induced electrical currents arise. Okay, here's Faradays Law, you've heard me mention that, and by them, magnetic components arise, and vice versa. This is important. The magnetic components can induce currents and create, again, electrical fields. So there is a relationship between electrical fields and magnetic fields. They are combined. You can't separate them. When electrical fields increase, magnetic fields increase. When magnetic fields increase, electrical fields increase. So what I've been saying is when you put a magnet in our energy field, it's increasing our cellular voltage. You've heard me say that, I hope, by this time, because that's how I'm trying to explain this. Here's the science behind it, very technically, by Faraday's Law, that they are connected. So our magnets in our energy field are increasing our cellular voltage, which is what is being decreased by the electrical fields. Okay, here's most studies about magnetic fields effects were driven by the long history of using magnets for therapy. Modern and more serious medical applications of electrical magnetic fields are to heal non-unions of bone fractures, treat bone-related diseases. There's research on these neodymium magnets speeding up the healing process on bone fractures as well. Okay, and osteoporosis and osteoarthritis and all the specific molecular mechanisms that are not fully understood, the magnetic fields are doing that, because we have a magnetic component to our cells. Okay, so magnetic fields in general have been successfully applied to therapeutic resistance problems in the musculoskeletal system. Okay, so not only is this for making you feel better and increasing skeletal muscle blood flow, but again, even at a deeper bone level. Okay, so because it gets in deep. Static magnets on effects on blood flow. Again, static magnets can evoke changes in cutaneous blood flow and temperature. So we talked about, I put this in our Magnasport bracelet. that the infrared increases blood flow to skeletal muscles. So people recovering will recover quicker when they're using their muscles for workouts or hard workouts, when they want to recover quicker. The infrared does that, but so do the magnets. Okay, the magnets increase blood flow, and blood flow is healing. Okay, increased blood flow in skeletal muscle has been reported in response to whole body static magnet fields. Okay, for 10 minutes, even 10 minutes has been shown to increase blood flow in skeletal muscle. Okay, Magneспort bracelet, get those onto people who want to have either better performance or recovery times that are quicker when they're doing their typical workout. Okay, so here was applying static magnets of 4T, that's 4,000 Gauss, for 15 minutes, showed that resting finger microcirculation decreased in a human volunteer. Now, it decreased, but arterially it increased. Remember I talked about sometimes it increases and sometimes it decreases? It just, the body seems to take what it wants and use it the way it needs to. They don't have an explanation of why it does that yet, but it does. And it does what it's supposed to be doing. So that's a static magnet. Not call it magic, but it's new enough that they don't have enough research to understand the total mechanism of why these static magnets work so well. Study. This is the study that you can give to your people. If they want to science this down to the cellular level, here it is, so that you can see what this is. Okay, so now I'm going to stop my share. And that is the end now. Phew. All right.
Yes, this really validates my testimonial about all of the amazing benefits that I got from the jewelry in not only a short time, but over that 6 to 9 month period. Because I can tell you, a couple of years ago, when I woke up, every, foot pain, knee pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, hip pain, I mean, I was a mess. And it was probably from the fibromyalgia, the Lyme, so I had a heavy viral load. And all of that inflammation in the body was just giving me creaks and cracks and pain. I thought, how in the world am I going to age anymore from this? And so when I started to wear the jewelry, and the immediate result was the better sleep and the good, and increased energy. And then week after week, day after day, week after week, month by month, I'm saying, I don't have any of these pains anymore. I don't understand how this can be so powerful. And this research completely explains that, because I wear it 24/7, 24/7 when I'm in the shower, constantly. So I'm always having at least, well, I'll say 16 to 20,000 Gauss on my body.
Yeah.
So
and you're getting that cumulative effect, which is what this was saying, right? Exactly. Which I've known, but now it's like, so you can see when I went, I found this all, and I do research. I get research every day that comes to me, and this was like, oh my gosh, this is like such gold for those of us who understand, get that this is for people who want the real understanding of on a cellular level, and a lot of people don't. So great, good for them. Wear jewelry, feel good. But for those people that do, this is a huge one. So thank you, Julie. Thank you for sharing. And Nikki, go ahead.
Yeah, this was great. I can geek out on this stuff myself. So
good. I'm glad.
And I've actually read a few of the studies in the wellness and research area, because I do have a lot of people that ask some interesting questions.
Electromagnetic field starts from things that you can see, light, all the way to microwave, which you can't see those frequencies, but they exist. Right. And they can be measured. And so these frequencies are measured, that they project these specific frequencies of infrared, which is a specific spectrum, and negative ions, which is a specific spectrum.
Got it.
So I'm getting tired. It's not. Yeah, but the important part is that what is it? It's a frequency that it's a frequency that your body recognizes. You can't see it. Taste it, touch it, same thing with, anything with electromagnetic fields. They are beyond our capability of seeing, touching. We don't have sonar bees, probably can do some of that, but we don't.
Just wanted to say that, when I first started, I told you that as soon as I put the jewelry on, I stopped having the knee problems, right? Remember that? It never came back.
Take that and share that information, because this is the truth. right?
I
And
do,
I
but
wanted
how
to
did I
give,
see that research?
now,
Yeah.
hey, that happened to be the first one I shared, right? The bracelets affecting knee pain, right? Because it's in your energy field, right? And it's increasing your voltage, and it's increasing your body's ability to function, to decrease inflammation in the body, to increase blood flow for healing, letting them, I have so many more studies. I had to
Another,
choose which ones I was going
another
to share.
example too is yesterday, the hospital near me, they have a track, you know, and it's a quarter of a mile around, you know, and you got part of it, you go up a hill, so forth and so on. There's this younger girl and she was like really walking fast. I said, aha, be the person that I try to keep up with, right?
Yeah.
So I did a mile and then I said, okay, it's time to get off. And I thought, oh man, that was pretty serious right there. But guess what? I didn't have any pains. You know, when I came home, I wasn't, you know, but I mean, I was really moving, you know,
Awesome.
and I had my stuff on. I'm going to have to get another bracelet now so I can have one on this arm so I can
Yeah.
have, you know, more motion.
The new sports, the Magnasport is what I would suggest. It takes a
Okay,
multi-mega.
okay, I'll check it out.
Magnasport, double infrared. Okay, beautiful arch, really comfy, and it comes in black, blue, and beige.
Yeah, that's good. People can see that one on you too.
Right. And we talked about you having a lot of sports people.
Yeah, yeah.
You should be wearing the Magnasport so you can show them it's really comfortable. The silicone's comfortable. It's got a nice arch in
Okay.
it, so it fits your wrist really well. Are you guys liking them?
Absolutely.
Cool. Great.
Very well made, very beautiful.
I
Thank you.
did want to interject something about, I have osteoporosis and arthritis, but as we've talked before, I have severe arthritis in my hands and fingers. And I do notice when I don't have them on, like when I take them off for a shower or I do dishes, because I still wash dishes by hand, I get my pain back. It gets bad again. But as soon as I put them on, it reduces the pain. So it does work.
Thanks for sharing, Clarendon. I'm glad that it's helping you. So that's awesome. So I'm actually really surprised to see all of you on here still. I'm really, really happy. So it tells me a lot about the integrity of who's joining this company and why. That's what it tells me. I truly appreciate your time in listening and your enthusiasm for this information. And now take that enthusiasm and go share it. Okay?